The microwave, the pacemaker, penicillin. Some of the greatest leaps in human progress were not the result of rigorous, calculated planning. They were mistakes, glitches in the matrix of the scientific method. We have a very specific word for this phenomenon, a word that describes the magical intersection of chance, observation, and brilliant luck. Serendipity. Today, it is considered one of the most beautiful words in the English language. It sounds distinctly British, refined, elegant. It feels as though it belongs in a leather-bound dictionary in an Oxford library. But this word is an imposter. Its origins are not in the drawing rooms of 18th century London, nor in the Latin or Greek roots that anchor most of the English dictionary. The DNA of this word holds a secret, a hidden map. To find its true origin, we have to travel back thousands of years, across treacherous oceans, through Persian fairy tales, all the way to one of the oldest surviving classical languages on Earth, Tamil. How does a word travel across the globe? Words are not just sounds, they are vessels. They carry the cargo of human history, trade, conquest, and poetry across the oceans of time. The story of serendipity is perhaps the greatest linguistic mystery of the modern age. It is a puzzle with pieces scattered across 4 different languages, 3 distinct cultures, and 2 millennia. In this investigation, we are going to reconstruct that journey. We will track a single sound as it morphs from an ancient island kingdom into an Arab sailor's navigation chart, transforms inside a Persian fable, and eventually lands on the desk of an eccentric English aristocrat. By the end of this journey, you will understand not just the birth of a word, but how the ancient Tamil language cast a linguistic shadow that still shapes the way we think about luck, fate, and discovery today. To understand the origin, we must first start at the end. The year is 1754. The place is Strawberry Hill, a bizarre, Gothic revival mansion in London. The owner of this mansion is Horace Walpole, an English writer, politician, and notorious eccentric. Walpole is writing a letter to his friend, Horace Mann, who is living in Florence. In this letter, Walpole is boasting about a recent discovery he made regarding an old painting. But he struggles to find the right word to describe how he found it. He didn't find it through logic. He found it by a happy accident. Walpole writes that he has coined a new word, serendipity. He tells his friend that he invented it based on a silly fairy tale he had recently read, a story called The 3 Princes of Serendip. According to Walpole, as these 3 princes traveled, they were constantly making discoveries, by accidents and sagacity, of things they were not in quest of. Walpole created a noun out of the kingdom's name, Serendip. But where and what was Serendip? The 3 Princes of Serendip was not an English story. It was a European translation of an Italian book, which itself was a translation of a much older Persian epic poem written by the poet Amir Khusro in the year 1302. In the story, the princes are tracking a lost camel they have never seen. Yet, by observing the environment, noticing that grass is eaten only on one side of the road, or seeing ants swarming on spilled butter, they accurately describe the camel as blind in one eye, missing a tooth, and carrying a pregnant woman. They were the original Sherlock Holmes, centuries before Arthur Conan Doyle. But the name of their homeland, Serendip, was not a fictional realm of fantasy. It was a real place. Serendip was the ancient Persian name for the island we know today as Sri Lanka. The Persians, however, did not invent this name. They inherited it. And to understand how, we must look to the masters of the ancient oceans, the Arab mariners. Long before European galleons mapped the globe, Arab traders dominated the Indian Ocean. They rode the monsoon winds, creating a massive, invisible Silk Road of the sea. These traders sailed constantly to the southern tip of India and the island of Sri Lanka, hunting for the world's most precious commodities, cinnamon, pearls, and precious gems. In the logbooks and maps of these Arab sailors, the island of Sri Lanka was recorded under a very specific name, Sarandib. From Sarandib came the Persian Serendip, which gave Horace Walpole serendipity. The chain is almost complete. But there is one final, crucial missing link. Where did the Arabs get the word Sarandib? This is where we reach the bedrock. the absolute foundation of our linguistic excavation. We find ourselves in the deep south of the Indian subcontinent, immersed in the world of Tamil. Tamil is not just a language. It is a living fossil. It is one of the longest surviving classical languages in the world, with a recorded, continuous history stretching back well over 2,000 years. In antiquity, the southern region of India was ruled by three great dynasties: the Cholas, the Pandyas, and the Cheras. The Chera Dynasty held immense naval and economic power, controlling vital spice trade routes across the ocean. To the ancient Tamil people, the island of Sri Lanka, lying just across the narrow strait, was intimately connected to their world. Linguistic historians have traced the Arabic Sarandib directly back to the native Tamil words used to describe the island. The root is Cheran Theevu. In Tamil, Cheran refers to the mighty Chera Dynasty, and Theevu means island. Cheran Theevu, literally, the island of the Cheras. When Arab traders arrived on the shores of South India, haggling over the price of cardamom, black pepper, and pearls, they heard the local Tamil merchants referring to the great island to the south as Cheran Theevu. The Arab tongue, attempting to wrap itself around the unique phonetic structure of Tamil, softened the hard edges. Over time and across countless voyages, Cheran Theevu became Serendip. Think about the magnitude of this journey. A localized Tamil phrase, Cheran Theevu, spoken by ancient merchants under the blazing Indian sun, was absorbed by Arab sailors. It was romanticized by Persian poets. It was translated by Italian monks. It was adopted by an eccentric British lord. And today, it is used by scientists, artists, and lovers across the globe to describe the magic of a happy accident.